the Thresh, the Tahm Kench, these things that can be used with something like a Jinx, like you're saying, are now still available, and are certainly things that Keria has utilized very effectively. Yone is the first ban, though, here from T1.
I think maybe they want to look for a potential early Azir pickup in this situation. That's what
that's signaling. Yeah, I think so.
And maybe Gen G just susses it out and bans that one away. But obviously first, you need to get rid of the Bard. The Orianna needs to be taken away. There's a lot of homework that when you are second pick, you need to do. And T1 might just throw that out the window and force you to only ban 3 champions and leave some of the other crazy ones. We already listed that there are 4 that have to be taken away, and T1 just may not agree to take any of them.
Yeah, I think you have to take away some at least, because I know there was the big 4, but there's also the fact that like there's Jarvan as well. Ideally, you get one of those big picks, and then they have to ban the rest.
I mean, something's getting through. It already is.
Something is getting through.
The Azir is a consideration for sure. But
Orianna needs to be banned, right?
There are still some... I think he'll probably ban Orianna in this spot. I think there are some picks that Chovy can play into the Azir and feel very comfortable, including the Sylas.
Oh my lord.
He didn't do it. They want to trade. And I think that's probably... If Faker wants to go for the Azir, you get Orianna +1. You get Orianna Jarvan, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you're very happy to take if you're Gen G right now.
I think the Varus ban is good because then there's potential to trade those mids with the Orianna and the Ryze. But now it's up to Gen G because they will get a double pickup.
Yeah, I think you just ban, right now, you ban Ryze. And you say, if you want the Azir, we'll play Orianna Jarvan. If you pick the Orianna, you don't get the Jarvan. Okay, they ban the Orianna instead.
Going to be taken away. I think this is a bridge too far. I think that Faker has been so good on Orianna for the last 10 years. So I don't think that that is a risk worth taking. We've seen some teams try it this season. It hasn't worked well, but then the Ryze gets through.
Yep.
Is it a Talia pick here for Chovy, I wonder? What is his game plan? Because he willingly gives this Ryze up. Instead of banning it to try to get Jarvan plus the answering pick, what is the answering pick now to the Ryze with the other choice they've made? Talia Pantheon, you know?
Victor and Talia are probably the big ones in my mind that we kind of have seen playing into Ryze and at least having the Victor in particular, successful early game.
Wait.
Canyon wasn't kidding.
It's locked in. Okay, so this is a flex.
Yep.
Right? And we don't know whether it's going to be Keen, whether it's going to be Canyon. We know that Canyon is the best Nidalee player in the world, probably, or at least the most famous.
If the Renekton is locked here, then we'll know. But I don't know if they locked it.
No, we won't.
There's not a lot left available, I feel like, to pick into the Renekton other than just taking a tank. So, they slam it. It makes a lot of sense. I think for here, for Doran, you're probably just taking a tanking into this. There is Cassante and Ornn. Those would be the safe options.
I mean, Owner has played a lot of Talon in years past where he's meta. He hovers it a lot. Now the crowd got excited about it, but I won't.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Here. The Fury makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. I think Neferi...
dogs and cats? Dogs and cats in the jungle?
Neferi is not only that kind of remaining pick, but also into the Nidalee, you have point and click on your ultimate that can actually reach your dogs block spears, so you don't have to dodge them. I think T1 pretty happy with what they got so far, and probably just going to pick up a top laner for Doran here. I think something safe, something that can just survive as best as possible. It's never easy to survive against Renekton Nidalee, but to me, Cassante, Ornn are the picks I would be leaning.
I vote Cassante. I think it's the safest pick here. Ornn offers you a lot of CC, but doesn't necessarily pair with his draft that well.
Or Haggis! The Doran special! Oh my lord, now Chovy locks Yasuo, and we're going to have the best game ever. Because he's playing Renekton mid, and there's Yasuo into Gragas top lane. No, it's probably not going to happen, but that would be very funny. Chovy, now we'll see what he is going to pick up here as Twisted Fate.
I'm not actually a huge fan
I don't like this.
I understand the thought process. You want set up for spears, you want roaming pressure to play through sides, but we have seen Twisted Fate struggle so much in an Neferi.
And there's not a consistent damage threat in the mid lane the same way there is a Ryze there on the other side. So
you can definitely lock him down. You can get him in position to die to Canyon. And this is not a composition built for longevity.
Oh no.
I know that. I lost my hair because of it. this exact combo. It was Showmaker and Canyon that were playing together when the Renekton Nidalee was locked in that series.
So now the second rotation of bans with no bot lane is picked. The pool's really going to get thinned. Ashe, Seraphine going to be taken away as a combo. Lucian was already taken away. Some of the remaining 80 carries, I think, are standouts. MF, Caitlyn. Caitlyn already banned. MF and Sivir, I think, are the two that stand out to me.
I mean, you could just ban Nautilus because that's really scary as a setup for either of these compositions, but especially Gen G's.
Yeah, I think they need a lot of setup CC in the bottom lane, especially for Gen G, with Canyon the one that needs to be facilitated. So I would agree with you.
The Blitzcrank ban signifies potentially a Thresh lane here for Keria and Pays. I would not mind a Thresh ban here, but it does leave a lot open in terms of 80 carries.
You know, with Gen G's composition, I wouldn't put it past them to go something even like a Kai'Sa in this situation.
They match the Thresh, like I was saying.
All right.
Like, they could just pick Nautilus on 4 here, and then you can go either MF or Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's a rough lane in the MF if they deny it, though. It's a tricky one.
I think you probably want Nautilus, and then you hope to try and pick an 80 carry that can weather whatever they pick up. That's probably what you're looking at.
I mean, Keria can play Kench here still with a lot of different 80 carries. Aphelios for Pays, Jinx. There's the knowledge ban we expected. This feels really strong right now, position-wise, for T1.
And so what is now the list of champions that are available? I mean...
Nico is a standout.
Yeah,
that was
Nico's
banned
a
last
big one.
time. Rel is available as an engaged support.
Leona, technically speaking.
Yeah, something
popular.
for setup for the Nidalee is what they're probably looking for here. But Duro is...
Even Melio as well, though, when you have a TF, you could have gone like a longer range Melio comp, and the Melio buffs the TF range. But they will just go for that MF. Not going to be able to get the MF Nautilus. But that kind of feels like one of the strongest laning picks left in the bot lane. And now for T1, how would you respond with this?
Do you just go for the scaling pick and try to weather the lane? Oh, Sivir's still up.
I think you just go Sivir, because you can spell shield a double up.
And you can play Sivir Yumi if you want to
just
as well.
Yeah.
Sivir Nico also feels pretty powerful as T1 round out this composition. Look, fantastic. And Keria
about it.
Is like, yep, they let me play it, and it will be the Rel misfortune for Gen G. This composition did come together better than I was expecting after the TF, I'm not going to lie, on the Gen G side. But I'm looking at T1's draft, and I'm feeling like this looks more like Game 2 than Game 5.
I think it's a big edge for T1. The Neferi and the Sivir have tools of dealing with the TF threat, and the TF is going to be struggling to survive. You have an immobile backline, the TF misfortune, and a lot of threats onto them.
This
Go to team fights, it feels tough, but even the early pressure, I think T1 can match a good amount.
This feels like Game 1, where T1 have the multi-threat scaling draft, and Gen G were like, they've got to get ahead early, they're going to have to hold on early, and they did. They were able to snowball that game. They were able to just destroy them and hold on to that lead and kind of maul them, and I still yet think that T1 have the better draft. I think they can weather the storm here. I think that as these games go later, they have the better win conditions, they have the easier draft to play, but we're looking at Nidalee, Renekton Nidalee here for Keen and Canyon, a classic pairing that isn't necessarily one that we associate with these two players together, but with these two players separately, they have had so many great games on these champs. The TF has always linked well with it. Gen G are on a timer. They've got to win this game early, or T1 just are too big to fail.
Yep, and it was Renekton Nidalee by Noguri and Canyon that was really the most devastating. Let's get into it. Game number 5.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
T1 하나, 둘, 셋.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Desperately, our MSI defending champions are trying to get themselves a ticket, while our world's defending champions are looking to deny it from them. It's an absolute treat here that we get game number 5, but it is still going to be such a shame that we have to say goodbye to one of these teams. I mentioned it earlier on in the day. I want to reiterate it. It's going to feel weird not going to an MSI with both T1 and Gen G there, but that is just the reality that we are in with the power shown by Harmon Life Esports.
We have had a grueling series here And I think it has led to a lot of errors. Like we saw in Game 4, both teams making mistakes, but still some clutch plays from Genji brought us to this 5th game. That fan sign we saw during that final cheer from a T1 fan said, "I canceled my bus. Please just win. I'll find my way home somehow."
That is so good. Wait, if they lose, are they not going to be able to find their way home?
I hope they can find their way home no matter what. There's a lot of great public transportation here in Korea, so
Yes.
I think they'll be all right.
They do have some options, but that is a brilliant fan sign. As it is certainly a day that could have gone a lot earlier and has certainly gone the distance. I feel so blessed that we get the full value.
Oh, it's nearly gank.
Okay, looking for the angle here is Faker.
Gold card.
Ghosting away, and there's the flash. Gold card come through. The spear will connect, but Canyon not able to get the empowered pounce, but still Faker is running for such a long time. And it means that Chovy is able to have so much free time with this lane. Faker is running the wrong direction, remember?
He's going to get the execute.
Will not actually get the execute. Look for the... actually, no, does decide to do that. He probably could have just gone for a recall. We know, obviously, that Canyon is on his Krugs.
The thing is that I think the execute is safer, and you're only losing like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
On the
and if you
timer
do
there.
try and channel it back, you're definitely getting speared.
Yeah, so I think you took the safer option there, able to get away, and didn't even burn his flash is the big thing. Held his flash throughout that,
Yeah, just
and it ends up
ghosted.
paying off. Yeah, massive move there from Faker.
Now, is Canyon
Yeah,
pretty good
it's-
at Italy?
Don't get me wrong, this is all great that Faker didn't have to flash, he gets away, but he's still losing a lot of power in this lane. Lost a lot of experience. Chovy is a full level up on him right now and has a wave of extra experience, or a wave of extra CS. So still a huge win for Genji at the end of the day. Chovy expended his flash, but I think well worth it for what he got in exchange. Because he has teleport, he can take this quick back here and try to further the lead.
Yep. Keen trying to deal with Doran. We know that Doran's Gragas has been such an incredible clutch tool in the past. In fact, it was the reason why T1 lost to Genji a couple of years back on this very journey.
Yeah, and Baze got the MVP instead, and Ox and I argued about it.
I'm
several
still
hours.
mad about it, and I think Chronicler still thinks that Pays should have got it. And I still like, I just hope that
Let's
one
not bring
day
this up now.
he realizes
Guys,
that
let's
it
not
was-
bring it up.
Well, I mean, the POM vote is coming up soon.
Yeah. And honestly, Pays had a really good series, so he might be able to get it. And Doran and Pays are back on the same team again. So that conversation is relevant. Okay, Orcs? It is, somewhat. It's all right,
think
we're
Orcs
taking a lot
knows
of damage
it's
here. We'll get snared by Carrier. Make It Rain does stop Pays from making an entrance, but this is T1 with a lot of control here of this lane.
A lot of damage taken.
Wow, Pays is so far ahead. Kind of crazy. 2 waves? Something like that?
Plus Cull. And I think it's the power of the melee support here for Duro just kind of getting poked out by the Keria Nico here with the Sivir clearing those waves.
Oh, gold card just going to be snap locked here by Chovy. Faker getting ran down momentarily, but not able to do enough damage there to really threaten him. Flash still in hand for the Rise, as even some popcorn chickens denied. As
And even Canyon got the shot on the doggy.
Yeah, he is just hitting doggies with the spears. He even sets up the cannon. Thank you very much, Canyon. As Chovy just going to be able to shove this wave in as Faker does go back to base, but he is going to miss a fair bit of this wave. It is a cannon, so not going to miss all of it or anything like that. But some plate money going over to Chovy and a slight lead here for Genji, despite how terribly things are going in the bottom lane.
So ultimately, we're a 700 gold lead for Chovy now. Before we're starting to really talk about the extra passive money that's going to be coming in. It's come in already, but it will continue to come in over the course of this game. It will get larger and larger.
Yeah,
Pretty good situation here if you're a Genji fan.
I would
And I
agree.
think important that this is the manner they played it out, because I feel like the 2v2 mid-jungle is actually tricky. If they go for a fight after level 6, I think Owner and Faker would be in a very good spot to take it, but they haven't done that. They've gone for that early gank that set Faker behind. Chovy able to find success there with Canyon backing him up, just keeping the Rise down, because when you have double roaming ultimates on these mid laners, whoever's in a position to move is going to feel much better on their team, reap the benefits.
Well, we can see a lot of the reason why the Nidalee is picked is so that you can just really get through your jungle as quickly as possible. Owner has been very good at keeping up so far. Canyon does hit that level 6, though, as he does claim the top scuttle. And we'll now look for a little bit of a reset. We'll obviously be able to get around the jungle and hoover things up very, very quickly. But T1 not wasting any time. They are now on this dragon towards the bottom side of the map. And Canyon went for a reset and is now just looking to head towards his blue. So another very early dragon, although not as early as that one previously, will be claimed by T1 to get a little bit back against the flow of play.
Dragon secure here immediately. Not in a farm lead or anything like that, but does have the scuttle top side here to try to play through with this Renekton. In 70 seconds, those grubs will spawn, and maybe they can get a little bit of power there. Pretty quiet early game.
Yeah. And I feel like this bodes well for T1. I see Renekton Nidalee, and I'm like, you want to get things done in the earlier stages. But mid-game is probably where this game is going to really take a turn. We haven't seen a Destiny Gate yet from Chovy either, so if things get a little bit weird and wonderful as the ulti comes through from Ona, there's a Realm Warp as well. The Gate, the Destiny, has come on through, but Canyon didn't have a pounce to get over that wall, and now Carrier is the target for Chovy, and Canyon just looking to pounce his way out of there. The dagger is going to miss. And I think that Canyon is able to get the Primal Surge. The Blast Cone's not enough. And first blood will go to T1. And Fake is the one that claims it.
You see how as soon as Ona sees Canyon there, he's like, we can make this play. Fake is going to back me up. He ults immediately. And although the chase is extended, a big reason for that is Faker holds his flash, does not want to commit that resource because he knows they can get the kill without it. And as a result, not only does he pick up a kill to help him get back into this lane, but he remains potentially safe from a future gank with that flash in his pocket.
He's cut the gold lead in half off of that play on this Rise as the one who picks up the kill. So this is a big wrench into the gears of Gen G's early machine. And we saw Chovy try to match the ultimate there, but knew he couldn't alter that play. Saw with his Destiny that Carrier was flanking there and tried to get him, but was unsuccessful. As we're going to have a potential all-in here for Keen.
Yeah, here's the Dominus as Doran holds onto the cask. Canyon looking to take down these grubs. One of them was taken by Ono, but the rest of Gen G show up. That is going to mean that Canyon is able to secure two of them. And Dominus here getting the health bar back for Canyon quite nicely. For Keen, sorry, quite nicely. As Pei's taking a lot of damage here. Double up thrown at him as well. Ruler claiming a little bit more control now that it's a 1v1 there towards the bottom side. And in fact, the bottom lane is entirely equalized.
Well, I think you look at the items that were picked up, and Pei's got the scout slingshot.
Oh, no, not the slingshot.
And Ruler got the Vam Scepter. So when it's just a 1v1 situation, it's going to feel really good having that extra sustain. And it's only going to be amplified when you get that first item, that Bloodthirst, that makes it really hard to contest MF in terms of cryo.
MF's base damages are so good too. The double up damage is great, so does end up getting a lot of power there. Eats a turret shot, and that's the end of the aggression. But we did see Duro was rotating over, and there was a potential angle there to try to look for more, but they do decide not to. Rod of Ages purchased here for Chovy. Starts that timer here at 9 minutes. And we're looking for a pretty strong soul here, very likely, in this game with Ocean off the cards here. Mountain picked up, could be something very explosive in this one, so the second dragon could be quite valuable to take, especially if you are T1 to get double dragon.
Or it could just be Chem.
I said
it could,
likely. I said
Ops,
likely.
this is game 5. We're going to need you to lock in, okay?
I'll do my best.
Just channel what would Valdez do?
Lock in, that's what he did.
He would lock in.
After you told him to, of course.
Yes, exactly. As Chovy throws out a gold card, finds Fake with that one. Some wild cards there as well, doing some work. But Gen G slowing this game down. And it's so weird because it feels like this gold lead is entirely fake. As Gen G, kind of relying on Chovy stacking the deck in order to get that bit of extra money. So I'm going to say that this one is entirely even. Grubs over to Gen G, Mountain Drake over to T1. And in 1 minute's time, looking for a bit of an angle towards this Ocean and some daggers flying out from Ona. Canyon will be able to soften him up here momentarily, just killing all the doggos.
Yeah, good move from Ona using the dogs to block the spear. And I think Canyon is just struggling to find really the headway he wants to right now. You'd love to be invading, stealing away camps constantly, finding opportunities on your lanes to have setup, which is all three of them.
Yeah.
But so far hasn't been able to do so.
But Doran has ult, right? And he has his body slam. It's quite difficult to kill him very quickly, even if you do get that commitment. And Doran is spacing well.
He's also just building pure tank.
Exactly. It's hard to kill him for so many reasons, so that's not a lane you necessarily want to play through. Mid lane, Faker's got so much wave cleared. He's been doing a good job of pushing Chovy back here. So he hasn't found an angle that's very clear. He hasn't found the gold card comes through, we get the kill. Outside of what happened to Faker in the very early game, even though Faker got the execute, it was successful there. But that's where the stun Nidalee spears stop.
I mean, that's the thing, is Faker now has Merc Treads and was able to maintain his flash this entire time. So just not an easy target at all. Spell Shield and the Nico Quone in the bot lane. It's a composition from T1 that gives its challenges to a Nidalee. Dragon up and available now, and Canyon just coming out from base, so T1 will be starting this up.
Yeah, I feel like Gen.G have kind of just been off-tempo for these Dragons so far this game. Or maybe just not that interested in it, as Duro just scouting around here. Does not get tagged by the snare, as Chovy just doing his very best to keep things shoved in. That's going to be a Cloud Soul once again, bookended this series by Cloud Souls. Feels like my birthday. It's Keen and Doran continuing to do battle here towards his top side. Good combo there from Doran, but great stun from Keen, as I think mostly concerned about clearing out the minion wave. But Doran, with the Balmy Cinder and the Bramble Vest, is just really hard to do damage to.
Yeah, Gragas also got a buff recently to his damage reduction on his W, but it only comes in when you max it. He's gone E-max into W-max because he's going tank, not putting points in his Q, other than that Fierce on, and so as a result, getting very tanky very quickly.
Oh, bit of a party cast there from Doran, but great sidestep from Keen as the Destiny Gate combo comes down. As soon as he makes one mistake, it's Doran going to hit the deck, and that is going to be the first kill for Gen.G.
He's just like, all right, well, you used your peel tool, and we're going to kill you.
Instantly, the Destiny Gate comes down as, all right, that's a cute little flash away, but I don't think it's going to really help Duro here, as now Carrier is a little bit by himself, wants to try and flash, but he's unable to do so. A little bit of a mistake there by the Nico, and that is going to be another one over to Gen.G. But a cute play from Duro to go over the wall, then back again.
Yeah, he just essentially was like, I'm going to turn this escape into a little engage.
And I feel like T1 did not need to do any of that.
No! I like how there's a voice of reason that echoes after everything is said and done. Orcs is like, wait a minute, why?
Doran was completely fine in the top lane, playing a defensive lane, then tries to look for this window, but Keen has dominance. You're not killing him solo, there's no one in range. It was just a pressure cask, and that opens him up to this gank. And then they're backing away, and the rest of T1 try and make a play onto Duro, but it's a Rel with Flash, so hard to pin down in this situation. And the end result, because they both go over in the Herald pit, Carrier ends up isolated and alone. And then he unfortunately fails to flash as well.
Failing the flash is the worst of it, but just wanted to ult to try to buy some space.
And could have set something up potentially, but without Doran, like, just don't really think you need to.
I think they wanted to, they saw the pressure was coming, they wanted to turn it around, but it all just got disjointed. They kind of came in one by one piecemeal, and Gen.G got the punish there. Great escape / engage from Duro to set up the second part of it. And now it's a pretty big gold lead here on the top side of the map. This Renekton very, very ahead.
Yeah, and now Doran under fire one more time. Chovy just trying to get some damage down onto this outer turret. And Doran, like you mentioned, not a lot of points into the queue, so that is not a very scary ability, but leaving Ruler parked in the mid lane is something that they can absolutely do now. He's got that Bloodthirster completed, a big old shield going to be there to keep him safe. And the double up helps out there too.
He's going the Yuntal first, not going the Essence Reaver, so you don't have just infinite mana on the back of that, and you don't have the ability haste as well. Does mean that a bit of an even tougher time into Ruler. You can't just Q and then W every single wave and have no mana issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this opens up the Rel to be everywhere else, because Ruler needs no resources here to just control this lane. So Duro goes where he pleases.
Yep. Owner is not going to be able to lock him down. The crash down is going to be working here as decent little sidesteps from Canyon, actually buying enough space. Trying to push T1 back. As Keen moves over towards his Rift Herald, that is going to ultimately be the target. As Faker is putting a bit of cross-map pressure down towards his top outer turret, but it looks like Gen.G not too worried about it. As Ona comes on in, there's a Hex Splash from Duro as Carrier looking for a bit of an angle. He's a little doggo, that's very, very cute. But now Keen wanting to stop any sort of approach. That will be the Riptail going down, but the Pop Blossom, he's going to come on in. Bullet time, fantastic though, and Gen G looking brilliant in the team fight. T1 flashing the wrong direction. As the Realm Warp from the Blast Cone gets pays to safety, and it's Owner that's popping off eventually. Gets cleaned up by the Crocodile. But I have to say, that was one of the coolest little plays I've ever seen.
That
was
Realm
very
Warp
cool.
escape was insane, but it's still favorable.
No, T1 win the fight. I know. 3-2, Riptail goes to Gen G. That was the coolest play
it could have been
so far.
4-2 if he did not actually make that play.
There you go, beautiful.
And this is a great engage here with the knockup, but the bullet time is so impactful throughout it. Doran gets chunked down. He has to try to run away. He and Paze are isolated on the other side. He blast cones into the Realm Warp, which is placed at max range for Faker, by the way. I thought Faker was going to use the Realm Warp to try to reposition before the fight even broke out, but he uses it here at the end to help Paze get out, and we have a pause.
So the thing is, Keen was right there, so if the timing was slightly off.
Oh, it's like, it was so hopeful.
Yeah.
But everything went right.
Yeah, I actually hope that this pause is a request for a replay. Like, that was a really, really cool Realm Warp. Can I just see it again? And I think that they should honor the request.
I wouldn't keep your hopes up on that one. I think it might be for something else.
All right. Well, we'll keep you updated as to what it actually is.
Normally,
we did see for a moment that Owner did leave the chat.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it's necessarily him or with everyone.
I was going to say, normally we can look back, but it's pretty far away here, this arena, to look back and see what's going on.
Yeah, we are on the sort of T1 side. So having a look now, I can confirm the game
Doran,
is
maybe?
paused.
Looks like they might be at Doran's side of the booth.
I did see Owner disconnect before we went to break, so that's my guess. But you know,
We're resuming. I believe everyone has watched the replay, and they're all golf clapping, and now we're going to be resuming.
Yeah, you can just rewind and watch on your stream many times if
exactly.
you're watching at home. So,
All right, here it is. We're just going to hop back in.
We saw game 2 of the series. It was Gen G who had like the scaling elements of the composition, and they really slowed the pace of the game down, opted out of these fights. A lot of cross-mapping initially in that one, and even though it didn't find favor, they did eventually get beat in the late game. It feels like T1 going a bit more headfirst in their approach, despite being into this Renekton Nidalee TF combo that you feel really needs to get the ball rolling. They are just fighting them pound for pound. In this situation, this Dragon, though, will go down. They will opt out of that, but already at a 2,000+ goal deficit.
There is full vision, though. You can see this ward is not being
never
cleared
managed
out,
to fight
and
it.
Owner is just going to come on over. It is not going to be the secure, but Canyon now in a lot of trouble. He blasts a dash cannons to try and get himself out of there as Owner gets the reset, and now Chovy's the one that's in trouble. This is a bit of a disaster. Yes, they secure the Drake, but the flash has to be employed. That's their last one that they had available. Chovy gets out. Oh, Duros did just come back up.
I mean,
but yeah, that is a lot invested to get that Drake.
earlier you mentioned when the gold lead was much smaller, mind you, that the gold lead felt kind of fake. And a lot of that, I think, was based on the fact that this TF is hold up. Faker?
Yeah, Dominus is going to come on out here as the flash is up again for Keen, and he doesn't even need it. Wait, he does, actually. He used it just prior, and Flash is on top of Faker and takes him out. That's the solo kill for the Renekton.
Keen's super strong right now in this Renekton, has the Black Cleaver, has the Merc Treads. Compared to the Rise, was a barely stacked Rod of Ages. Not much of competition here. Doran with a great engage, and Owner, the power of the Neferi into the Nidalee, just that point and click, targeted damage, so hard to avoid, and Chovy able to get away on this one, only just.
The main part of this for me is the banana brush control, because Keria made it so they couldn't actually follow and look for the fight there. You know, Ruler is just cut off, can't actually join, can't do anything with this MF pick. Here it's just Keen running Faker down, wants to use the empowered W, it's letting it charge up, doesn't have it, just decides, okay, I'm just going to Q, it's got the extra range, I can't get into melee range. Faker just ends up getting burned down, but what I was going to say right before this is, I think this game is still incredibly close, right? You were looking at a game where Paze has a gold lead. Surprise, surprise. Again, T1 have the scaling advantage. And Gen G have a 3.3 thousand gold lead, but it's on a Renekton and a TF, who has a lot of that gold lead in his CS that he has. By the way, look at the CS numbers here for Chovy. He is way up on Faker, like 35. So
There's a Renekton. Okay.
Yeah, there's a horse and a crocodile that Faker is going to have to deal with as he manages to get in.
Realm Warp King.
Both of those champions had CC to deny that, and they were unable to catch the GOAT.
You saw the stun coming through from Keen, but just a little bit too late. Great sidestep out of the realm open back in from Faker. That seemed like a Doom scenario.
Yeah.
And he does get out with his life and makes this game a little bit more playable here, but his turret, I think, is not going to be so lucky. It's a bit of a race here for this turret. Well, actually, first brick was already taken in the bottom lane, but still a race for the second here for Gen G. They'll win it before Doran is able to get his first of the game on the bottom side.
A little bit of a tempo advantage you could get from that one as well, as Doran is biding his time, trying to make sure that as many of these minions do go down. But because of that, Chovy is able to make his way back over here and is going to be able to save this turret for the next little while.
Yeah, Doran just not very fast at taking towers.
No.
With no AP apart from Doran's ring.
And it is his ring. But that doesn't change the...
Do you ever try to hit something very hard with a ring on your finger?
It does? Yeah, no, it hurts me when I do that.
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt the structure you're in question too much. Chovy picks up Rapid Fire Cannon, which is a huge spike here, 20 minutes for this TF4, setting up Engage.
Oh, I blinked and he's 3,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, he is the gold lead. But consider this, right? There's a Rise and a Sivir in the same composition, insane wave. Even the Gragas without AP, their wave's decently fine. T1 can just hunker down. They got the early double dragon and scale up. And I think right now, that's what you've got to do. Just don't get caught. Don't get pinched by this TF, the Renekton Nidalee, and just farm waves over and over and over again. And there's a way back into this game. We've seen FaZe do it countless times. Faker potentially caught, as I say it.
Yeah, Blast Cone going to come in, though, and Faker just gets out.
Escape artist, man, from the, the level 1 gank all the way to now.
But it does buy them a bit of space to use this Rift Herald in the mid lane. The outer ring of turrets likely to fall down on this next push. This turret is not long for the world. Chovy actually looking for a bit of an angle here as Faker taking a lot of damage just from that blue card with the Lich Bane stacked up. As Doran, he did manage to get the outer turret in the bottom lane. Golf clap for Doran, but it does cost them 2 turrets in the end.
Does feel like the pressure is mounting on T1. Dragon up in 45. They're already up 2. They don't need to strictly fight this, but obviously we saw last time Canyon secured a dragon and they punished him for it immediately, so I imagine they will set up and look for an angle, but they can give it up, the dragon itself, if they don't see a window in, or if they'd rather just prioritize the fight over the objective.
And I do feel like T1's composition, team fights, better than Gen G's.
Absolutely.
I think that Gen G definitely need to play for the smoke and mirrors, play for the side lanes, and try and catch targets unawares. Getting this outer ring of turrets, making the map as dark as possible is so important for this Gen G composition.
I think
Carrier
Gen G,
slow down.
the main goal for Gen G here is to, if possible, deny his dragon. They do not have prio, but to be able to look for a turn on an objective. This isn't the one. They're going to have to be proactive here as we see Doran TP in.
Yeah, he is very durable. And so they're going to have to give up on that prospect as Gen G looking to try and make this a 50-50. Keen's teleported in, though, gets that big old shield. And let's see what the Renekton's going to be able to do. Pop Blossom under 3! The secure of the soul point for T1! But can they win the fight? That's the question. Doran is such a problem. He takes down Ruler before he falls, but FaZe is dealing with so many problems himself. And Carrier running the wrong direction on the map. Faker and Ono, though, still huge threats in this fight, and Duro is limping away. And without Canyon, without Ruler, there is so much damage missing from this Gen G composition. The gold card, my goodness, Carrier in a lot of trouble. He'll be taken down as Keen locks up that one. And Duro, why are we still going back? It is crazy to crash down. It comes on through. Chovy almost survives, and Keen now trying to sink his fangs in, playing around the vision that they had available, but it doesn't work. And Faker locks them all down with a triple kill for the Rise. Why?
There's so many things that go wrong here for the side of Gen G, but the Smite secure is there for T1, and they're set up for the longer fight. They have the more consistent damage.
Look, there's actually, it's a great engage from T1. There's actually a pretty big error from FaZe in the follow-up because it's Doran and Carrier who get this engage. They find Ruler, and we see Faker following up, but then FaZe moves up to this wall and wants to go to flash over it and fail flashes and just dies as a result. So the fight would have been so one-sided if that hadn't happened. It ends up a three players on both sides left available, but Gen G, this is the point where after they clean up Carrier, they just go too far.
I mean, there's a Rise here, and the Rise isn't ahead. The Rise is 3 levels down on Keen, but it's a Rise, does a lot of damage. Chovy thinks he can maybe help execute him, but Keen can't collapse fast enough. And so Faker just cleans up house. There isn't enough damage here to take him out. Imagine what it's going to be like later in the game when Faker isn't this behind. They put a huge dent in the gold lead here. This Sivir is scaling, and T1 are on the Baron. What I was going to say right before that Dragon was, I think Gen.G's main goal to win this game is to look for a turn off Baron. Now, Baron against them, they have no pride. They got to come contest.
And Faker has Actualizer now. He is so strong.
He is. Let's see whether Canyon can make some magic happen. It looks like the answer is absolutely not. As they look for the Magnet Storm combo with the bullet time, and Duro is just dead. Owner is able to secure the Baron, grab the kill. And now Gen.G are desperately fighting for their lives. And it will not happen. Owner is able to stand strong, and Chovy getting here late. And he will go down. It's the ace, and it's clean for T1.
Ace for T1, and the crowd erupts. 5 members of Gen.G dead on the back of that play, Baron in pocket, and they just cannot deal with all these threats. Faker so strong, Ono with 7 kills. How can you shut down this Neferi?
I think they just punched their ticket. I think they've done it. They're on Soul Point. They got Baron. They have the scaling composition. And here with Gen.G, the comp turns defensively so well, but on the attack with no Pride with Sword. Look at Duro and Ruler. Try to set this up, but it's too desynced. It's too disjointed. T1 are already out while the bullet time flies. And as the result, it's easy for T1 to actually turn. They lost their engage. Ruler kites it out so well, but it just doesn't matter. Chovy's on a TF, and they're just overwhelmed. But it's a clean ace. It's a gold lead. It's a Baron. And finally, T1 fans, I feel, are starting to feel like they are going to Daejeon.
It's looking like it, as Duro, as soon as he missed that Magnet Storm, the flash came through. The spell shield was there from Pays. And Ruler was so ready to trust the bullet time just hitting the air. And T1 now, they've taken the inner turret towards the bottom side of the map. Inner in the mid lane is now going to be going down as well. And Gen.G well and truly on the ropes. It's a 6,000 Red Bull Baron power play already. And they still have a minute left on that one. They're looking to break the base in this bottom lane. And we already mentioned it, Gen.G's composition, it doesn't have legs. I mean, it does have a lot of legs based on the champions, but it doesn't have legs as far as the late game power.
And we're in the late game now, and T1 are scaled up.
All right, let's see whether Gen.G has a last-ditch effort in them. They now have the ultimates back up and available as that Destiny Gate does come back in, but it's going to take a miracle here if Gen.G are going to do it with this composition.
Ruler doesn't have, or Duro doesn't have flash to set up Ruler for success with a Magnet Storm. They just don't really have any ins here.
Look at Doran, he's just cutting them off from the tower.
Yeah, just wandering away. Doesn't actually hit the body slam. As now Ruler trying to get some work done, but does hit the air once again. Pop Blossom onto 3, the engage from Carrier. Absolutely beautiful, but the follow-up isn't quite there necessarily. Ona able to take down his opposite number, and Keen the next on the menu. Fangs go in, down goes the Croc, and it's a double for the Neferi. And T1, they're going to take another inhibitor and maybe even look to take the game.
They're going to TP Doran back in. They're going for the end.
Going to end. I don't think there's any way. There's no Magnet Storm. There's no bullet time. There's no answer to this push.
Well, let's see. Ruler is still up and available, but Doran is trying to stop that from being a reality. Duro goes down, and the Nexus turrets are following suit. They're looking for Pace. The spell shield is gorgeous, and Chovy is likely to fall, but it's Ruler that falls first. And 1 TF against the world is not going to do it. The defending MSI champions will not make it to MSI this time, and it's T1 that reclaim that position.
So often we've seen Gen.G overcome T1 domestically, but when it comes down to just one of these teams attending MSI, it's not the back-to-back MSI champions who will be attending.
As Ona, he's going to claim it.
In the theory, you can just jump onto her, easily get out your bullet time. A TF definitely is not equipped to deal with the Neferi.
And also, you didn't need to pick it that early, right? As this was the game-winning play. Carrier just having an absolute blast here in this 5th game. You can see, even from Champion Select earlier on, he was just having a great time. Just shows that love of the game certainly does help you win.
You know, Canyon's Nidalee is such a menace for T1 in the Damwon era for so long. It feels like they were so well equipped to deal with it. They gave him so few ins in the early game, even though the lead was there. Final moments here, just so decisive for T1. They know they have everything they need. Doran goes through, and they just find the follow-up. Look at Chovy here. Pays flashes away, but he can't get him. It's almost like he's teasing him.
Another spell shield just perfectly timed. And T1 Faker, you can see, playing it out until the very end. Everyone else celebrating. Faker knows that there is more work to be done if he wants to lift that MSI trophy again. But this is the first step towards Daejeon and towards success.
There's only one question left. Who picks up POM?
That is a really good point. I don't know who I'd vote for.
Good thing you didn't have to work it out.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a vote.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually.
Me and Wolf sitting there, furrowing our brows.
I think it was a pretty easy pace vote for me. He was the main character of this series in wins and in losses. They either shut him down or he was unleashed, and he popped off. I think you couldn't talk about this series for T1 without talking about him in each and every game.
Yep, I even think the games that they lost, FaZe was absolutely phenomenal.